What's going on, guys? Amon-Rellik the God Slayer. Amon-Rellik Gaming. We're back. More Destiny 2, and we're on to the Warlock build that I have for my Warlock, for my Niobe. Call it my Niobe. For anybody who knows, the good old school Matrix. The Niobe. Got my little Niobe look going on. So what we're using today, of course, is Void. We're gonna be rolling with Healing Rift, Balanced Glide. Of course, the only thing that they have is the Pocket Singularity, which is like a mini supernova that makes enemies volatile, which it makes them basically explodey bombs, but it also pushes enemies away from me. And a vortex grenade. We're gonna be using Child of the Old Gods. Casting your rift creates a void soul. Now, the only reason why we're using that is one, because of the grenade and melee energy you get back for using your healing rift. But we're also using it mainly because we want the 2 slots, because the other one doesn't have 2 slots. Chaos Accelerator doesn't have 2 slots, so we want 2 slots. And of course, Feed the Void. Defeating a target with a void ability activates Devour. Now, because of this, I'm gonna actually take it off of here if I have it on here. I don't. Good. Because of this, we don't need to have the one that gives you Devour by getting Orbs of Power. We don't need that, like we did on our Hunter and like we will on our Titan. We don't need it for Warlock. It can just generate that shit easy. So with Devour, we've already got that ability set up. We're going to be using, of course, Void abilities. Have final blows. Final blows make things explode. We want that. Of course, defeating people with grenades give us Void volatile rounds. We want that. Void weapon volatile rounds. We want melee final blows grant grenade energy, because this is actually a very powerful ability. Melee. And then, of course, we have Echo Reprisal. Final blows when surrounded by combatants grant super energy, because we're going to be doing a lot of final blows around enemies. One, because we're going to be mainly trying to stay within our rifts a lot, or be using the rift to get that ball on you don't want this. One of the things people don't understand about this thing is that when it creates that void soul doesn't bounce between targets. It only goes to a specific target and it stays there for its duration. So this is the kind of thing you want to put on an enemy that's going to be a little harder to kill, because while it's draining the enemy, you're getting that melee and grenade energy back, but only while it's doing that. So you want to, I don't know if it was a bug or not. Maybe it was meant to, whoever I target, it's supposed to bounce to them, but I haven't been able to see. Maybe it's because the enemies that when you kill them, that you kill them in such rapid succession that this ball does not travel, as quickly. It doesn't do it instantaneously. It actually has to fly over to the people that it's at. So when you're killing mass people, I guess it doesn't even compute them as enemies to actually go for, because they're already dead. So in order to counteract that, whenever you pop this, you want to aim for an enemy that will take a while to kill. Your big yellow bars and up. You want to aim for an enemy for that, shoot them, and have that thing go over to them, and then you just go ahead and deal with all the other enemies around you, so that you can have that energy drain happening for you in the background. All right. So when it comes to what we're using, we are using the Vulpicula. You could use any hand cannon here. I wasn't too about which one I was using at first, but I was like, you know what? I'll stick to this one. What you really could do is you could use an osmosis weapon, and the volatile rounds that you get will work, because when you throw your grenade, osmosis will make whatever kinetic weapon you have become a void weapon. And then on top of that, because of that, volatile rounds will work on a primary that was kinetic but got turned to void through osmosis. So that's a little trick for you guys too, if you want to have multiple weapons with that on. You can do that for any class too. So any class that gives you that you use that ability on. So cool. But I'm trying to go for a different feel for each one of them. So when it came down to my Warlock, I wanted my secondary weapon to be Graviton Lance. I'm not a big grenade. I'm not a big grenade launcher user for real. So, you know, it was double primary or nothing. I kind of use this as more of like my my backup weapon. You know, if things get a little hairy here in terms of like reloading, but even then, I think I'm gonna end up changing this to something else because this is gonna be the main. This is actually the main weapon. You know, my secondary. And I think it's weird that they put this in the secondary. I understand why they do, but because it's a primary pulse rifle, it feels weird being in the secondary slot. But I have it, and I also have its catalyst done. So, and its catalyst gives like a ton of range and better target acquisition. But what I'm looking for is cosmology. Kills with this weapon causes enemy targets to explode and cause void projectiles to track their targets and make them explode. And this explosion can continue to happen. And because it's a void weapon, I will be able to use volatile rounds with this. This becomes something nice when you start putting it together. I'm telling you, when you start putting this together, it's nice. When it comes to my rocket launcher, I'm using, of course, the adaptive frame red herring. It's got a tracking module on it. Its tracking is a little bit better, I believe, than the Palmyra tracking, to be quite honest. But it's not as like, you know, hit per hit strong. But it's also got snapshots, so I can aim pretty quickly. It's not rifle rocket launcher. I can deal with it. I'm using Nezarec Sin, void kills, increased void ability energy, and mainly it's going to be this weapon we're going to be using. So a lot of void kills there, and of course void energy kills as well. Void kills, void damage kills, increased ability energy recharge rate, and of course, I haven't gotten a lot of these, especially on my Warlock. I haven't gotten a lot of these masterwork yet, but you know, you're just gonna be taking what you see here, like the old one, and just using it as a small template or something like that. Of course, need Joels, so you gotta have elemental ordnance. I'm gonna have Void Siphon. Rapid void kills will bring give me an overpower. That's again useful for just getting my super back. High energy fire, of course. Font of Might to make void weapons even more powerful, and that Font of Might is for when I get a elemental well. Now, what I'm thinking about doing when it comes to this is because I have elemental charge, I think I'm gonna probably get rid of Font of Might because I don't necessarily need Font of Might. And what I'm thinking about doing instead is going with something like this, you know, or something like this, you know, elemental armaments. Either that or melee. I mean, you can try either one, but I would say, you know, Font of Might kind of cancels out a little bit of I noticed that it cancels out charge with light a little bit, so it's not really, you know, it's not really cool to have them both on, I guess you could say. You should rely on one or the other. So what we'll do for Font of Might is we'll just put on put this on, since we're gonna be using mainly our Graviton Lance. So with that being said, we're going to be looking at basically a generation of energy, higher damage for the Graviton, and we're just going to be basically trying to cause as many explosions as possible. So let's get out there and do it. And again, the hand cannon is based mainly on when enemies are within like close proximity to me. And be that there's kind of like a AoE gimmick to it, because with the headstone perk on the hand cannon, it'll cause a stasis crystal to come out, which I can destroy and add some AoE to that. So it's an all-around okay hand cannon. And again, these are just the weapons that I'm currently using. Every now and then, you could swap out a lot of these for weapons that you're more comfortable with. I'm pretty sure the player base can come out there with some wacky stuff.
Wellspring belongs to Hive. Why take from them the greater power?
Woo! What we'll do is we'll throw this out, and I would have sent that soul over to him. Oh! I would have sent that soul over to him, and let's grab this. There we go. Gonna wait. So even the explosions themselves make people volatile. It's beautiful. And then of course the things got amazing. Ooh! I was so intense staring at that. I should have been focused. But it's got amazing range. Like I said, it's got good range. Damage fall off can be very far away. I was too into what I was doing. All right.
Ever consider leaving Fire Team behind? Leaving Throne World? Never thought.
All right.
Let's keep at it.
So it's a beautiful synergy because for every amount of damage I put out with this weapon, it oh dear. As you can see, I was getting stuff back the whole time that thing was out. So that's the kind of like, you know, method kind of gonna use it for. Like for instance, there you go. Ah. Oh, he was beaming me. Well, I was getting beamed from behind and that. That's because I was trying to pay attention to them. I totally didn't get to pay attention to where he was coming from. All right.
Brood shields are weakening. Let's get them.
Like again, like he pays attention to me, but I'm not even thinking about. But I'm not even thinking he does, or like he's trying to. Alright. I'm feeding off of him. Oh my god! No! Yo, like when he wants it, he wants it.
That's it for the hive.
This time, anyway. Hey, love your work. Impressive as always.
Never a dull moment, Guardian. Great work.
So there you have it. The kind of build that I can feel comfortable playing with. Got my dark goth thing going on, and I got my nice little build, my Graviton Lance. I'm a happy man. I'm Amon-Rellik the God Slayer. I'm really gaming. We out.